Hi, my name's Don. I am the laser shop manager here at Xerocraft. Xerocraft is a community makerspace in Tucson, Arizona. We are an operational shop, so while I make this quick and dirty video, you're going to hear a lot of background noise. You're going to hear other voices and things like that. Sorry about that. It's a real shop. So let's get right to it. I do not have screen capture software installed in this PC, so we're going to do it the old-fashioned way and just give you a real look at what's going on. All right, here is xTool Studio. Should be the most current version. Just updated the firmware on my F2 Ultra. So what we're working with today is the F2 Ultra. Do not try this on a different machine. It probably won't work. All right, I have gone through and set my process on flat surface mode, 304 stainless steel as my material, and did a measure to get my thing set up. We're going to be doing a color engraving demo. Right now you see that I have a single object set on here. I can select that, come over and say start grid test. The grid test is going to come up with all of the usual options, and I'm going to set you down here while we walk through those. All right, it is of course the MOPA IR laser. Material type we'll just leave as it is, and our power settings we're going to test today is from the power settings we're going to test today is from 12 to 17.5. So my max is 17.5. My min is 12% power. I'm going to set this to 8 columns. I think I can make that fit. And my spacing at 2 millimeters. Over here on the speed, we're going to go as high as 800. Let's say 850. And as low as 400. Actually, based on previous tests, yeah, let's stick with 400. All right, again, 8 rows and 2 millimeter spacing. You'll notice I'm not using any of the pre-created material test arrays for color. This way I can dial it in. The material that I'm using is 304 stainless steel acquired from Amazon, nothing fancy, but your material may behave differently than mine. So just because I get a color at a particular setting on this material, it's because this is the material, the relative humidity and the temperature of the material, the temperature in the shop while I'm working, all of those things are factors in creating a color engrave. And we're back. I did a little tweaking off camera just to tighten up the image size and scaled it to be the size that I want for my material so that I can get as much color sample space on the material as possible. The settings, though, are the same ones that we just talked about as we went through those. And you'll see that those are all creating individual user-defined boxes down the side. All right, so I'm going to come over to the machine. You'll see that the steel is placed directly under the center portion of the bed. That is important. You can get colors sometimes outside of that center square, but it's not going to work well. So the common question is, well, what about highly reflective warnings and damaging the laser? The thing is, with color engraving, and only with color engraving, the power levels are so low, as we remember, we were what, 12 to 17.5%, that it's not going to damage anything by bouncing back up. So this is an exception to the highly reflective concerns that we've had before. All right, so I've got that in place. You can see that it's already focused. I measured it. Everything like that is good to go. We're going to go ahead and I've already framed the project as well. We can look at the preview just to see if that's worth it. I'll admit, xTool folks, I'm not a huge fan of the preview. It often doesn't do any good at all, but let's have a look and see what it says today. All right, so yes, it does show us a preview, but not particularly helpful in terms of the information that's on there. So your mileage may vary. That's what I found. All right, so I'm going to click on process and fire up the laser. While that's running, let's have a look at some of the other settings that are important. So I just picked one of the squares. It happens to be the lower right corner one, and we're looking at those, although most of them will be very, very similar. You see our power here on this one is 17.5 and the speed is 400. That's the highest power and the lowest speed that we have on our test. We're taking one pass. Lines per centimeter is 5,000. That's important. Engraving mode's bidirectional. Pulse width is 200 and the frequency is set at 1,000. All of those things are important if you want to get color engraving. This is a MOPA laser. That's why we can do this kind of magic, is because we can control the frequency and the other higher order parameters like this. All right, the process is completed. Let's see what we got here. And looks like, yep, wow, we got some nice colors. Although those settings on the text are probably a little hot. Now, no harm done.
That's the Xerocraft blue.